That?
Well, you know, I've heard it all. And
Your young mind, your young ears.
I thought the great scene was when they were all at the pitching mound, and the coach comes in. He's like, "What's the problem here?" And he's like, "Well, so and so is getting married, and we're trying to figure out what's going on, and this guy's mitt is cursed, and he needs a rooster." And the guy's like, "Well, you know, play settings are always nice, and maybe she's registered somewhere, and we can take care of that." And he goes back off the mound. I was like, "That's great."
Nick Silva could have if he just shoots lights out, that could help.
I mean, with Brockton's size, they get 6'4", 6'2", 6'1",
6'3",
6'1", and 6'4" on the floor. So they've got 2 6'4s, a 6'2", and then 2 6'1s.
Those are the starters?
That's the starters.
No problem whatsoever.
So we still don't know New Bedford, right?
No.
I'll run over there and
see if he'll tell you yet.
Recognize the official? What did he tell you? Did he tell you?
He says it's Peter. Ed's convinced it's Peter Bernard.
Wow, I thought he read it. He told me Ray.
He said he told you Ray, and then he was wrong.
Okay.
He meant to tell you Peter.
Okay.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Beardsworth-Gonzalez Gymnasium on the campus of New Bedford High School, where tonight Cable Access Sports is proud to present high school basketball, the high school basketball game of the week, the 9-1 Brockton Boxers taking on the 3-6 New Bedford Whalers. Joe Cabral joined by John Carchidi and Adam Pimentel for all the exciting action from the Beardsworth-Gonzalez Gymnasium. It should be a great one, at least New Bedford fans hope so. Brockton at 9-1 on the season. The Whalers at 3-6. Adam, their last loss, a tough one at Dartmouth, 76-71. In that one, Nick Ponce was badly outplayed inside by Cullen Gilchrist. Tonight, he'll really have to step up his effort.
Yeah, he will. He'll be facing a pretty good center in Raymond Bernard. In the Dartmouth game, Nick Ponce only had 4 points and 5 assists. So he'll have to step up in this game. Nick Ponce is going to be the tallest player on the court today, so he'll have the height advantage going. Whether he'll be able to outpower the senior Bernard, we'll have to wait and see.
And the problem is also that it's not just Bernard who's a big man for Brockton. They have several guys who are well over 6 feet. In fact, the entire starting lineup is either 6'1" or taller. So New Bedford, Nick's going to have to get some help hanging on the boards. Against Dartmouth, they were badly out-rebounded, and that's going to be a factor if it happens again tonight.
And John, Brockton has the leading scorer in the Big Three, P.J. Bernard, averaging 23 points a game.
Yeah, that's an awful lot of points. And again, he has help. If P.J. doesn't have it, Brockton's other starters can certainly fill the basket, and they have a deep bench, something that Brockton has every year. Because they have such a big school, their bench goes 10 deep.
And head coach Victor Ortiz off to a great start. His Boxers at 9-1 on the season. And as we mentioned, the Whalers at 3-6 in the conference, in the Big Three. It's New Bedford at 0-1 and Brockton at 1-0. So it's a big one tonight for the Whalers. They need to get a few games closer to the 500 mark, and they'd like to start it tonight with an upset win over the Boxers of Brockton High School. The weather continues to be extremely cold outside, gentlemen, but tonight it's comfortably warm. On my way out the door, my wife said, "Be thankful you're not doing a football game tonight."
You imagine? We would have been frozen to the bleachers by now. It's a good crowd here tonight. New Bedford Brockton, no matter how the seasons are going, always draws a good crowd. I expect them to be nice and loud tonight.
We'll have a presentation prior to tonight's game, and you hear the public address announcer, Bob Huckabee. The Super Bowl is, for us, just a couple of days away, and I'd like to ask John, who are you picking?
I'm picking the Patriots. I think they have a good edge. I know the Rams have an excellent offense, but I think the Pats, if they come out and hit hard, they should be able to win, I think, by 3.
You know, the key in that game, I think, might be the special teams, and Adam Vinatieri, who's been great.
Yeah, he's overrated. He can't handle
You guys,
pressure situations.
as usual, you're right on top of what happened last year.
I think, I hate to say it, Joe, but sadly, I think the Oakland Raiders are going to win by a touchdown.
So you're going for the silver and black?
I don't like it. I'm not proud of myself, but the strength for the Buccaneers is their defense, but I don't just see how they can handle that monster offensive line of the Oakland Raiders. I mean, these guys are just houses, all of them, and they've done a spectacular job all year. It's one of the reasons why Rich Gannon has had such a phenomenal season.
Adam, a former offensive lineman at New Bedford High School. John referred to the Raiders' gigantic offensive line. Do you favor the Raiders or the Bucks in this one?
I am going with the Buccaneers. I know that line is huge, and I read in Sports Illustrated that they combine like 1,600 pounds, the 5 of them. But I'm going with Tampa Bay. I think the Bucks will be able to slow down the Raiders' offense, because I mean no one knows the Raiders as good as John Gruden.
That's true.
And their defense is outstanding, and like we saw in last year's Super Bowl, good defense can come out and stop a good offense. And like Mr. Lombardi said, defense wins championships, so I'm taking the Bucks.
The young man on the floor, Pat Walsh, accepting the scholarship award for his brother Ryan. You can see that the younger Walsh is growing quite nicely.
Yeah, I don't know what those Walsh kids eat, but they all seem to sprout up. It's unbelievable.
This is always a fun presentation. You know, they bring back recently graduated Whalers and present them with well-deserved scholarships, and it's always great to see the Whalers like David Raymond come back and see how they're doing, see how they've changed since they've graduated.
Dave Raymond, of course, graduated this past year, played on the Whalers basketball team. Here's Ariston Aurora, the point guard for the Whalers over the past couple of campaigns. He's all dressed up in Celtics garb tonight. Got the green and the white showing all over the place. The Celts at home tonight taking on Denver.
It's always good to see him. He was a special guy to have, both on football and the basketball teams.
The award presentations continue. I think they're looking for Zach. They mentioned Zach Rocha, and Zach is here somewhere, but he's playing it low key. He's playing it low key and didn't want to get out there and get embarrassed.
They're telling us that you and I are too loud, Joe. Now,
okay.
Given that you and I are the heart and soul of New Bedford Cable Access Television, can we be too loud?
I think it's hard. It's very difficult to say that we could be, but we'll have to make a correction.
You guys need to use your Australian Open voices. And I think you turned me down.
No, the U.S.
We turned Adam down.
Adam down. Okay, Adam. See, if we're too loud, Adam, we got to make sure that when we turn ours down, you don't end up drowning us out. You okay, Adam? No, you're all set.
I don't know. How do I sound you guys?
Yeah, you sound pretty
All
good.
right.
I'm still way too loud, though.
John.
My mother gets upset if I can't be heard.
People all over the Whaling City are blocking their ears right now because I'm way too loud and Ab's mom's going fighting sadness.
Lest we digress, I believe it's nearly time for the tip-off tonight. After the opening ceremonies, we'll have the color guard come out and have our national anthem. And it's one that's certainly highly anticipated. John mentioned a good crowd on hand, but I think the cold weather has scared some away because not quite as many fans in attendance as we saw last time we were here when the Whalers were taking on Dartmouth High School. But of course, a lot of the Dartmouth Indian fans had traveled over.
Well, this may be a good time, guys, to get to the keys to the game. And I know for New Bedford, obviously we mentioned how Nick Ponce is just going to have a heck of a game. And also, they're going to have to shoot the three from outside. They're going to have to stick those threes. Nick Silva has been able to keep his teams in it. And they're also going to have to bang around inside. Those are three big keys.
Here we go with the introductions. Tyrese Gibbs wearing number 44 for the Boxers. He'll be starting at one of the forwards tonight. Number 42 is Ray Bernard. Ray stands in at 6 feet 4 inches tall. He'll be the center tonight. Here's Tyrone Pruitt. We're familiar with Tyrone from the football team. He was a star running back. Also wore number 45 on the football field. Here's Dominique Beck. And he also played football for the Boxers. He was the quarterback. And now here is number 32, P.J. Bernard. As we mentioned earlier, the leading scorer in the conference at 23 plus a game. There you see the starters tonight. Number 22, A.J. Tavares, starting at one of the forwards tonight. Here's Nick Ponce. He'll have to have a big game. 6 foot 5 inch sophomore, starting at center for the Whalers. Here's Ian Mello. Ian wearing number 31, 5 foot 8 inch senior, and Joe Clement at the point for the Whalers, wearing number 25 in the white and red, and then number 12, Tom Balistracci, will be at the other forward tonight for New Bedford. And the Whalers, as you can see, just viewing the introductions, quite a bit smaller than Brockton, not only in height, but in bulk.
Yeah, and I think Adam, Coach Rodrigues took some extra time trying to decide what starting five he'd send out there today.
Yeah, he wasn't sure, even about 20 minutes before the game, exactly who was going to be in there. But we saw the 5 that he chose, and I think it's the usual suspects who are out there.
That was a good movie, by the way. Did you ever watch that movie?
I didn't.
Usual Suspects.
Yeah.
Good.
Outstanding movie. Outstanding movie. About 3 or 4 years ago.
I've always been impressed by the color guard.
John likes orderliness,
Yeah.
teamwork, and we are ready for our national anthem.
I like that.
That's our national anthem.
Is there a nicer instrument than a well-played violin?
It would be hard to make that decision at this point. I like the saxophone.
You like the saxophone? Sure. Okay.
Alto sax.
I respect that opinion. That was a nice national anthem. He did a good job.
Outstanding job.
I had the pleasure of actually seeing singing state trooper Dan Clark earlier this week. He was at the Gomes School, and I
heard him yesterday. I heard him yesterday. He was at our business day meeting. Of course, I work for Stop and Shop in addition to working for New Bedford Cable Access, and he was at our business day.
Yeah, just a tremendous voice, and the
Wow.
Star Spangled Banner was really incredible. Here we go. New Bedford keeps the game. Johnny touched on some. Control Brockton's big men inside, and that'll be huge. Stop the Big Three's leading scorer, as you mentioned, P.J. Bernard. And New Bedford's going to have to hit the long-range three.
Ray Bernard to jump for Brockton. Nick Ponce for New Bedford. Here's our opening tip. Controlled by the Boxers. And number 32, P.J. Bernard, gets it to Gibbs. Wearing number 44, Tyrese Gibbs, being guarded by Clement. And look at the size advantage to Gibbs. Clement is about shoulder height at best. Brockton just a physically strong lineup here tonight. Baseline jumper, Bernard, no good. Rebound to Pruitt. They reset the shot clock. Brockton trying to kick it up top. A little bit disorganized, the Brockton offense so far. It looks like they just rely on ability. Here's Pruitt, long range three, around and in. That's Tyrone Pruitt with the left hand, soft touch connects. And Brockton has an early 3-0 lead.
You're right, Joe. When you're this big and this athletic, you can just rely on sheer skill.
Yeah, and I noticed when Brockton was coming out.
Nice pass from A.J. Tavares to Tom Balistracci. Lays it in, 3-2 Brockton.
When Brockton was coming out for their starting lineups, you can tell that a lot of these guys spend time not on the gym and on the basketball court, but in the gym lifting weights, because some of them really big.
New Bedford with a steal. Here is Ian Mello with a basketball. Gives it to JoJo Clement. Here run the offense. Shot clock is down to 20. Clement kicks it left side of the arc to Ian Mello. Now up top to Tavares. Right side to Clement. Thought about the three, but hesitated and was guarded by Gibbs. Swing it up top to Mello. Between the legs, shake and bake. Baseline pass. Jumper by Ponce, no good. Rebound to Brockton. Here is Tyrese Gibbs. Sends it ahead to Bernard, who's racing the floor. Tries to find Ray Bernard, his brother, but the ball is deflected out of bounds, but it goes off of the hands of Ray Bernard, so it's New Bedford basketball.
I thought Ponce was just a little bit out of his range on that last shot.
Shot clock forced Nick to take that one. As Adam mentioned, he was beyond his normal shooting range, about an 18-footer. He likes to shoot from within 15. Here he gets one from about 10. His shot is long, and the rebound to P.J. Bernard with the basketball across the timeline. Sends it to Pruitt, left side of the arc. New Bedford man-to-man defense. Ponce is in the middle, though, trying to stop the penetration from P.J. And the Whalers with another steal. Balistracci to the bucket, no good. Rebound to P.J. Bernard.
Just enough of a disruption to make that a difficult layup.
Right side of the arc. Long jumper by Bernard is no good. And the Whalers with the rebound.
Already, though, New Bedford being out-rebounded 4-1.
Here's Clement, shake and bake move. Takes it into the paint and will be fouled. As John mentioned, the Whalers have struggled all season long on the glass, already being out-rebounded tonight 4-1, as he mentioned. And Adam in the last game against Dartmouth, New Bedford was badly out-rebounded by the Indians.
Yeah, 38-6, New Bedford was out-rebounded in that one. And that's just an awful difference in rebounding. You're not going to win a lot of ball games when the other team is getting more second-half chances than you are.
Here's Clement with the basketball. He's being guarded by P.J. Bernard. Baseline pass to Tavares. He loses the ball out of bounds. It will be Brockton's basketball. Dominique Beck to inbound for the Boxers. Finds an outlet in Ray Bernard, and now back to Beck. He's the quarterback on the football team and also on the basketball floor. Being guarded by Tavares. Man-to-man defense being employed by the Whalers. Normally they like to look zone, but they've decided to go man-to-man here early tonight. Pass inside, Beck. Turnaround jumper around, no good. Rebound inside to P.J. Bernard. The ball goes out of bounds off of P.J. and it's New Bedford basketball. 3-2, the Boxers with the lead. 12:57 left in the first half. Glad you joined us from the Beardsworth Gonzalez Gymnasium. The Whalers and the Brockton Boxers. Big three high school basketball action. Clement again, penetration, takes it to the glass, lays it up and in.
Terrific fake, terrific ball fake. JoJo faked the pass out to the wing to Ponce, and it created a lane for himself.
JoJo tried to go for the steal and is called for the foul, so Brockton will inbound. And they're also going to their bench. Into the lineup for the Boxers, number 35, Stefan Abelard. And number 25, Andrew Resendiz Gomes. All players we're familiar with from football. Resendiz Gomes was a tight end. Is a pass down low, lay it up and in by Dominique Beck.
That's difficult when your point guard's that big.
Here's Clement now, being guarded by Rashawn Jones, also in the lineup for Brockton. Clement beats Jones, takes it to the glass. A runner is good. JoJo Clement was determined to beat his man, did so, and took a little high arcing runner, and will have a steal now. A foul will be called against Brockton, against number 22, Rashawn Jones. Or did they call over and back?
Over and back. Called over and back, but terrific job by JoJo Clement. Again, that previous basket he created with the ball fake.
11:59 left in the first half. New Bedford with a 6-5 lead. Baseline pass to Ponce. Pull-up jumper, no good. Rebound to Rashawn Jones. Gets the ball ahead to Abelard. Deflected outside to Beck, and his shot is rejected by Ponce. Now Clement looking inside to Ponce. Takes it to the glass, lays it up, no good. And Brockton with the rebound.
Ponce seems to be in a little bit of a rut. He hasn't made any shots, and that one you have to put away.
And he's aiming his shots right now, Adam, you can tell. Not letting the basketball flow from his fingertips. Scramble underneath. Abelard with it, baseline pass to number 25, Resendiz Gomes. He lays it up and in. 7-6, Brockton. 5-second violation called on the Whalers. Mello was unable to inbound. And so far we've seen Brockton offensively. They don't run a set. They just get the ball over half court, just rely on their physical size and their athletic ability. They have a 1-point lead early on.
It will be interesting to see, though, if New Bedford's pressure defense can cause problems for that reason.
And also, it's interesting to note that Coach Ortiz, Adam, went to the bench early. So it appears that he does have a very deep squad. Plus, he might be trying to wear the Whalers out tonight. Just play it all night long, physical, aggressive, up-tempo, and let the Whalers just wear down under the barrage of the substitutions he'll make throughout the night.
Right, we're not even 5 minutes into this game. We've already seen 2 players come off the bench for Brockton. And but we can see we don't have any weights listed for any of the players. They don't put them on the basketball rosters because usually I don't think it's much of a big deal. But in this game, you can see a clear size differential between the Brockton players and the New Bedford players.
It looks like a college team versus a high school team.
Yeah, and I wonder if they're going to try and eventually go inside and use their muscle to move around New Bedford down low.
It's true, Adam. Not too many points from the paint thus far. Wow.
Baseline move by Jones. His pass is stolen by the Whalers, and Clement is tripped from behind by Abelard. So it will be New Bedford basketball.
Life not that unkind yet for the Whalers, though. They've created 5 turnovers.
And the Whalers have to use the turnover as if it were a rebound. They're not going to rebound with Brockton, but if they come up with a significant differential in turnovers, Clement again takes it to the glass. Shot this time is no good. And Brockton with the rebound. Here's P.J. Bernard spinning into the lane. He's hooked to the floor by Mello. and will go to the line. Smooth move there by number 32, P.J. Bernard.
Well, when you score over 20 points a game, you know you've got some moves.
We see Zach Rocha now behind us with his award presentation. Got it a little bit late, but Zach's a good kid. He'll catch on one of these days. Shot from Bernard is no good. He'll get another. With the Boxers up 7-6, 10:34 left in the first half. The pace of the game has not been that quick. You would think a Brockton New Bedford game would be played at such a high pace. Not so far. New Bedford goes to the bench for the first time tonight. Brandon Pina in the lineup. His pass is stolen by Beck for Brockton. Finds Bernard, thought about the three, instead takes it to the glass, lays it up, no good, gets his own rebound, tips it again, no good. Inside, it's the Whalers' number 32, Zach Smith, contending with Bernard, and a jump ball is called, so it will be Whaler basketball. Long pass connects with Tom Balistracci.
Fortunately, he was a receiver.
He got it at its highest point, double dribble. And he forgot for a second that it's basketball, not football. He put the ball down again, ended up with a double dribble.
I think I know why Zach might have been a little late. He's not used to getting on the floor this early in a basketball.
Oh, man, that is,
ouch.
As the kids would say, that's cold. Inside, Abelard has a hard time, has to kick it outside to Bernard. Now Beck with the basketball, time running down on the shot clock. Long range jumper is no good from Jones, then Abelard lays it up and in.
8-1, I have the rebounds now. And that height is just devastating.
Here's Mello with the basketball, being guarded by Bernard. Avoids Jones in the attempted steal. Spin move by Mello, and he's called for steps.
Yeah, good call. That pivot foot did move.
It appears the Whalers' strategy tonight, though, is for the point guard or the man up top to do some type of penetration and then dish the basketball. They know that Brockton has the size advantage, so they're going to rely on some quickness and speed. We've seen it all night long so far. JoJo Clement with 2 buckets and then slicing in a couple of other occasions. And that time, Mello tried to do the same, but then ended up walking on the spin move. Timeout called on the floor. 9:22 left in the first half. 10-6 Brockton. And the pace right now, I would say, actually favors the Whalers. Though normally they like the game to be at a high pace. I think tonight they'd like to keep it low scoring against Brockton. Control P.J. Bernard and then see what happens later in the contest.
Yeah, I think New Bedford probably just wants to hang around and then at the end, see if they can make a bit of a run. New Bedford did lose their last game against Dartmouth, but they let Dartmouth back into a game with a 15-5 run at the end of the first half, and that's when Dartmouth really came back. And New Bedford wasn't able to hang on.
You know, for the most part, New Bedford has stuck with its regulars, so it's going to be interesting to see if they're able to keep their win. We'll see how this game progresses, particularly late in the second half.
Pruitt back in the lineup for Brockton. And Clement is back in for the Whalers. Here's Jones, gives it up top to Bernard. He'll take the long range 3 and connects.
That was a great looking shot.
You can see why he averages 23 a game.
Great arch and perfect rotation on it.
His Clement pass ahead to Tavares. Inside, AJ thinks about it, takes the jumper around and in. The basket will count. He's fouled by number 25, Resendiz Gomes.
I tell you, JoJo Clement's having a great game so far. That was a beautiful look ahead. AJ couldn't handle the pass right away, but great recovery.
13-8, Brockton with the 5-point lead. And Tavares will try to cut that lead to 4 with his free throw attempt. Back in the lineup for Brockton, number 44, Tyrese Gibbs. Tavares connects on the free throw. 13-9 Brockton. Almost halfway through this first half. Pass inside to Gibbs. Takes it with a reverse around and out. But he'll go to the free throw line. Foul was called against number 32, Zach Smith. We haven't seen too much of Zach in the games we've done this season, but he's 6 feet 4 inches tall and a junior. And New Bedford tonight needs to play the big men. Started off with Ponce, now they've gone to Zach Smith. Free throw from Gibbs is good. There you see Tyrese Gibbs, 6 feet 2 inches tall. Rolls around and out, hung there for a second. Smith is out rebounded, however, by Jones, who's called for a double dribble. So another turnover for Brockton, New Bedford's basketball. The Whalers down by 5. They get the ball to Clement. Jojo racing down the floor. Kicks it baseline to Tavares, but the ball is deflected out of bounds off of Brockton. So it's Whaler basketball. Nick Ponce back in the lineup for the Whalers, replacing Smith. And A.J. Tavares checks out. And for the first time tonight, it's Mr. Offense, Nick Silva. Gets the ball on the baseline, tries to find Balistracci in the low block. The ball is deflected out of bounds off of Brockton. And look at Ray Bernard.
He is
6 feet 4 inches tall. He's got to weigh at least 230. There's no way he's under 230. Shot is no good by the Whalers to the basket. It's Jones, his shot way off the mark. But Bernard comes down with the rebound for the Boxers. Up top to Pruitt. He'll shoot the three, long. Rebound inside to Bernard, goes right back up. No good, but he's fouled.
Yeah, Bernard is not just tall, but he's going to use that 230, which is a strong 230. You know, at that, he's going to move around Ponce underneath and make some space for himself to get these rebounds.
John, he's the most physical player we've seen this season so far.
Yeah, I mean,
by far.
A lot of times we see guys who are this big and they're either real skinny or they're really awkward. And it seems like Ray has a good sense and a good coordination. That can be a lethal combination.
He misses both free throws, however. So New Bedford down only 6, 15-9. Here's Mello across the timeline.
Looks like Brockton's trying to pick up the pace a little bit now with some more pressure defense.
Absolutely, and that's the way you pick up the pace of the game. Mello's pass to the baseline, Balistracci, then to Clement. He thought about it, takes another runner. His shot is no good, and the rebound to the Boxers. Stolen, however, by Mello. Baseline pass intended for Clement, deflected out of bounds. Good observation, John. When you want to pick up the pace of the game, you can't do it offensively. You have to start defensively. Get your opposition to scramble a bit. And then you can pick up the pace offensively. Here's Mello, and Brockton is extending the defense now. Here comes a trap. And a block will be called against number 22, Rashawn Jones.
This could translate, though, into some open looks for the New Bedford sharpshooters.
If you can handle the ball well, and your point guard is able to slice through that pressure and then make the right decision, you're absolutely right. But again, you have to be able to do so. Three-pointer from the baseline. Nick Silva, nothing but net.
Terrific play. That was a design play. Nick ran through a nice pick set by Ponce and was wide open for the J.
15-12. New Bedford only down by 3. Near steal underneath, and now the Whalers do take the basketball away from Bernard. Clement, long pass intended for Silva, way over the top. And it's Brockton basketball.
Trying to get the ball still again from the same spot where he hit that three.
7:09 left in the first half. Here's Rashawn Jones with the basketball. Number 22, listed at 6 feet tall, but again, a sturdy point guard for the Boxers. Swing the ball to Pruitt, left side of the arc. Thought about the three, drives instead, kicks it outside to Woodbury. Inside to Gibbs, and he lays it up and in. Tyrese Gibbs with a lay-in, and Brockton has already gone 9 deep here. They lead 17-12. Here's Nick Silva being guarded by Gibbs, tries to slice into the paint, loses the basketball. To the glass, it's Jones. He lays it up and in with the left hand. There you saw the athleticism of the Boxers coming to the fore. Great steal, and then Jones just went high, let the defender go by, and then laid it in with the left hand. 19-12 Brockton.
Well, kind of the way what we expected. They're killing New Bedford on the boards. I've got 13 to 1 on the rebounding. But, you know, as you said, these guys are not as solid or slick offensively running plays and whatnot. And New Bedford's defense is causing them problems. They've turned the ball over 8 times. And, you know, New Bedford is still certainly in this game.
Great observation, however, John, when you said that Coach Ortiz decided to extend his defense because that's what he needed to do at that point. The game looked like it was going to be low scoring, played kind of lackadaisically. You allow the opposition, who really is the underdog, to hang around. You have troubles later on, Adam.
Yeah, also that'll keep New Bedford from getting open looks from behind the arc unless they really swing the ball and get the ball to an open man. That'll always keep a defender in their face. New Bedford won't be able to make the three. You saw before, Brockton had the 6-point lead, and that 1-3 cut the lead in half.
New Bedford to inbound. Mello gets it into Clement. Here comes pressure from the boxers, deflect the pass, but it ends up in the hands of Balistracci. Clement gets it to Balistracci. Now Brockton is intensifying their defensive pressure. Way up top, that's Jones on Clement. Shake and bake by JoJo. Kicks it outside to Silva. He'll shoot the long three. This one is short. And the rebound ends up in the hands of P.J. Bernard. Bernard with a little hesitation, tried the spin move. Silva with a near steal and then gets rolled over by Bernard, and the ball is deflected out of bounds. It will be Whaler basketball. It went off the hands of Tyrone Pruitt. .554 left in the first half. Brockton's lead at 7, 19-12. Here's Mello. Crossover dribble, and then the foul is called against number 32, P.J. Bernard. That's his first. 5th on the team. New Bedford to inbound.
I think Nick Silva did get his clock leaned a little bit shaken up. He's been looking a little bit woozy, might be too strong of a word, but a little bit uncomfortable on that trip down the floor.
A little glassy-eyed. Nick likes to wear those shorts real low. Inbound pass. Ball deflected out of bounds. Stays with New Bedford.
I think he took that look from you, Joe, didn't he?
No.
The glassy-eyed look or the short look?
The glassy-eyed maybe, but not the shorts look. When I coach a basketball team, one of the first rules I tell them is if your shorts fall down, you automatically go to the bench. Baseline jumper by Ian Mello is good from three-point land, so New Bedford back to within 4. Pruitt with the basketball to P.J. Bernard, right side of the arc. Up top, Jones tries the penetration, slices inside, finds the big man, Ray Bernard. His shot is no good, gets his own rebound, takes it up again, and a foul is called. And Bernard is just cleaning out inside. He did not even have the rebound position that time against Nick Ponce, but he just kind of spread out, parted the Red Sea of Whalers, if you would, and ended up with the second and third opportunity.
Yeah, it looks like his upper body strength is probably, he probably has more than anyone that the Whalers have down low.
Bernard's second free throw is no good after connecting on the first. Ponce is stripped, the ball goes to the floor. Nick with it, sends it ahead to Tom Balistracci. Good play there by Nick Ponce. Now JoJo Clement, but the entire Brockton defense is back. So Clement kicks it to Ponce, spin move. Nick from about 7, no good, and Balistracci got away with one going over the back of Gibbs, but Brockton ends up with the basketball anyway. Here's Bernard, he connects from three-point land.
Yeah, he was PJ determined to get himself back into this game. He's been quiet.
Here's Silva with the basketball. Up top to Clement, 23-15. New Bedford down by 8. Silva lets the ball go right through his hands and then is unable to save it, so it goes to Brockton. Brockton's number 15, John Mendy's in the lineup, Adam.
I was going to say a lot of old New Bedford players here. We have Eric Taylor, who's used to play on the basketball team, and an outstanding baseball player. He's here.
Baseline three by Tyrese Gibbs is good. Brockton now starting to connect from long range, up by 11. Here's Silva for three. His shot is good.
It's a sweet shot, isn't it? Nothing but net.
I think he wears his shorts so low so that his release point actually looks higher because he starts below his waistband. Has to be wide open, but when he is, he can connect. Inside, little jump hook by Gibbs is good. Brockton back up by 10, 28-18. 3:40 left in the first half. Good shake and bake by Clement. Tries to find Ponce, however, and the pass is stolen by the Boxers' Bernard. Leads it ahead to his brother Raymond. Takes it to the glass with a left hand and lays it in.
Pace definitely picking up.
Brockton up by 12. Silva way up top to Clement as Coach Ed Rodrigues calls for motion on the offense. High post. There's Ponce. Swings it left side of the arc to Mello, and the ball is deflected off of the hands of Ian Mello, out of bounds. The Boxers will inbound. Here's number 45, Tyrone Pruitt with the basketball. Bernard pops out. Had a pick set for him down low. Gets it inside to Abelard, and the basketball is stolen by the Whalers' Tavares. Here's A.J. Tavares. Gets it to Brandon Pina. Pina stripped. Mendes with the steal. Tries to take it to the glass. Little reverse move. Lays it in.
You can't afford Joe to be too cute against these guys.
Standing in at only 5 feet 11 inches tall, the only player on the roster under 6 feet tall. Actually, they have one other, Jamal Woodbury. Tom Balistracci connects from three-point land. The Whalers trying to stay in the game with a three-point shot, down by 11, 32-21. Here's Bernard, fine move, kicks it outside to Pruitt. Thought about the three, little jab step. Now back up top to Mendes. He'll shoot the three short. The rebound inside to Abelard. His shot is no good. Another rebound, this time Pruitt with the basketball off the floor, puts it up and in with the left hand.
That was fun.
Boy, you can see the strength. Just, you know, Bedford got a hand in there on him, and he had the strength to still get the shot off and bank it off the board and go on the line for a three-point play.
John, you sometimes say he powered that shot up, and that was the exact case there for Tyrone Pruitt. He just powered that ball up.
Pruitt, of course, an outstanding running back for the football team, and he was big on the football field, but some people just wear big pads and they look big. But Pruitt,
violation called on Brockton, Adam.
Is a big body with some strength.
Pruitt kind of faked the free throw attempt, and one of his players stepped into the lane, so that's a violation. New Bedford basketball, and a foul will be called on Rashawn Jones. You mentioned the weight room. They must have all of these players in the weight room because the size advantage for Brockton is not solely in height.
It's the John Carchidi School of Conditioning, Joe.
Is a pass inside to Tavares. Tries to find Ponce. The ball deflected, but saved by Nick. Tavares trying to slice into the paint. Spin move. Shot is deflected. Takes another attempt. Wild one. Air ball. And Brockton's Pruitt with the rebound. Tyrone kicks it outside to Bernard. Rashawn Jones for three. His shot is long. Rebound to Mendes. His shot is no good with the left hand. And then Balistracci with the rebound for New Bedford.
Yeah, that's a rare rebound for the Whalers.
We mentioned the weight room. That's the one area that New Bedford's athletic program really doesn't have an outstanding one. It's very small and very old equipment.
Jumper from about 17 by Tom Balistracci is good. The Whalers back to within 11, 34-23. Here's Pruitt, swings it to Bernard, coming off a pick. Now back to Pruitt. Has a wide open three. Instead sends it to Mendes. He'll shoot the three. His shot is no good. The rebound to Nick Ponce for New Bedford. The Whalers trying to run the floor. Ely, wide open, lays it up and in. Somehow Corey Ely found himself uncovered underneath the basket.
Yeah, they stopped the ball, but they forgot to stop the other Whaler.
Foul is called on the floor as Brockton's Pruitt took it to the hole. And number 23, Corey Ely, is called for the foul. He just pushed Tyrone Pruitt right in the back. So Pruitt goes to the line to shoot the 1-and-1 as New Bedford is over the limit. .8 seconds left in the first half. Pruitt connects on the free throw. Brockton back up by 10, 35-25. Tyrese Gibbs checking in for Brockton. Rashawn Jones out of the lineup for the Boxers. Second free throw from Gibbs, I should say from Pruitt, is good. 36-25, Brockton. A.J. Tavares with the basketball. He's stripped. P.J. Bernard timed it perfectly. He'll take it to the glass, lays it up, no good. Balistracci challenged the shot, did a great job. Now Bernard shoots the long-range three. He misses. And New Bedford's Balistracci with the rebound. Fine job there by Tom Balistracci to challenge the layup without fouling P.J. Bernard. Here's Aaron Christian with a shake and bake move. Bernard tried for the steal once again. He times it perfectly, waits till the offensive player is coming forward, then he leaves his man and just tries to come in for the strip. This time he's called for the foul. So Aaron Christian will go to the line to shoot 1-and-1 for New Bedford. .7 seconds left. Christian's free throw is good.
Let's see if New Bedford can get into single-digit deficit here before the half.
Yeah, I think they'd be pretty happy with that.
Christian's second free throw is short. Gibbs with a rebound. 2 seconds. 1. First half comes to a close with Brockton leading New Bedford 36-26. Kind of an uneventful first half for the most part, as the play went back and forth for a good portion of this first half, and then Brockton taking over toward the end of the first half with some three-point field goal attempts from P.J. Bernard and also Tyrese Gibbs.
Yeah, if Brockton makes their three-point shots, then this is going to be a long night. However, it's the rebounding. New Bedford has to find a way to somehow shrink this discrepancy on the boards a little bit more. Brockton came up with 21 rebounds in that first half, and that's a lot of boards. That's a lot of second and third opportunities.
Yeah, New Bedford, they were in it at the very beginning of this half, and I think they were really working hard, getting the loose balls and forcing Brockton to make some mistakes. And I think they'll really need to do that because they're going to have to outwork this Brockton team because they can't play with them physically and match up physically with them.
We saw a great discrepancy in the first half as far as size is concerned. A bigger Brockton team, not only height-wise, but also in just physical appearance. And as a result, at the half, it's Brockton 36, New Bedford 26. We'll be back with the second half action right after this.
Give me a couple. I'll take one. I'm good. Abe, are you in?
There's a better way to have fun with history. Visit americaslibrary.gov. Log on, play around, learn something.
Welcome back to the Beardsworth Gonzalez Gymnasium at New Bedford High School. The score at the half, Brockton 36, New Bedford 26. It was a first half dominated by Brockton on the glass, John.
Yeah, it really was. We had Brockton unofficially out-rebounding the Whalers 21-3, and that's a difficult thing. Fortunately, Brockton did turn the ball over a whole bunch of times. I had them with 9 turnovers. Otherwise, New Bedford would never get the ball back except after a basket.
Or a turnover.
Or a turnover.
That's it.
Yeah.
Adam, for New Bedford, we saw some successful penetration early from JoJo Clement. But again, New Bedford's big problem is rebounding. We talked about it earlier when we discussed their last loss to Dartmouth, and they were badly out-rebounded in that one. Again tonight, the Whalers just struggling on the glass.
Yeah, they can't pick up the rebounds, and they're being kind of pushed around down low. Brockton's size really is a huge factor in this game. And New Bedford, their big weapon would be the 3. They have 4 of them, but Brockton also has 4, so that kind of, you know, eliminates that advantage. New Bedford's going to have to come out, really work hard, and try and beat these boxes down low.
As a look at the scoring leaders, Gibbs leads all scorers with 8 points. Bernard and Pruitt with 7. For the Whalers, Balistracci has a team-high 7.
Brockton starts with a basketball here in the second half. Pass down low to Beck, and he bounces the basketball right off his knee, and Tavares comes up with it for New Bedford. The Boxers started to extend their defense about halfway through the first half. Long-range 3 by Mello is no good, and the rebound to Gibbs for the Boxers. Gibbs gets it ahead to Pruitt. Pass intended for Beck is kicked a couple of times, and the Whalers' Tavares ends up with it again.
Surprised they didn't call a kick ball on that, Joe.
Looked like Ponce did kind of kick the ball somewhat intentionally. Again, you have to remember the rule is it has to be an intentional kick. Ponce turnaround move. Shot is around and out, and another Brockton rebound. Here's Beck. Free throw line extended. Takes it to the glass, lays it up, around and in. But no basket. He's called for the offensive foul.
Have you ever noticed nothing draws more emotion than an offensive rebound?
Tom Balistracci is so good at drawing the offensive foul at him, and there he does it again. And it negates a basket by Dominique Beck.
Yeah, Tom, of course, not afraid of the contact. He'll stand in there and take it.
Tavares with a long-range 3, no good. And the smallest man on the floor, JoJo Clement, with a rebound. He'll shoot the 3 and is blocked by Gibbs. He'll take it to the glass, tries to jam it home and rattles it out. Here's Pruitt outside. Bernard thought about the 3, instead gives it to Gibbs. Swing the basketball to Pruitt, takes it right to the glass, gives it to Beck, but Pruitt is called for a travel.
I tell you, that's going to drive a coach crazy. You can hear Coach Ortiz just screaming, just shoot it.
Yeah, and Gibbs is a 6'2" guard out there, and he blocked Clement's shot, and really an unbelievable size advantage for Brockton at the guard position right now.
He has some long arms as well. Clement gets the basketball to Balistracci. Now back to JoJo. Thought about the 3, but was a little bit afraid as a result of that last block. Balistracci shoots the 3, no good. Rebound to Pruitt. Gibbs trying to slice to the glass with a right hand, lays it in. He just overpowered JoJo Clement that time. Brockton up by 12, 38-26.
Yeah, when you can jump, makes body control that much easier.
Clement slices to the basket, gets it to Ponce, and the little jump hook from Nick Ponce is good.
And that, Joe, is Nick's first points of the game.
And we have to see a lot more of that from JoJo Clement and Nick Ponce. Penetration and then find the big man unattended down low.
Yeah, well, that's where Nick Ponce needs to get the ball. He had slipped out earlier in the first half and didn't make anything.
Outstanding move by P.J. Bernard, who went hard to the glass and laid it up strong. Brockton back up by 12, 40-28. Tavares outside, swings it to Mello, left side of the arc. Tries to slice inside, kicks it outside to Tavares. He shoots the 3, no good. Rebound to Bernard. PJ loses the basketball as he steps on the sideline, so it's New Bedford's ball.
I like that last play by the Whalers, though. Ian drew all 5 boxers in when he penetrated and left all of the other Whalers open on the perimeter.
As you can see with New Bedford's team, they have to have scoring from a lot of different places. They don't have the one dominant scorer. So all of the players have to be able to put the ball in the basket and do it consistently, night in and night out. Here's Ponce being pressured way outside by Bernard. Finally gets the ball to Tavares, who takes it to the glass but loses it. Gibbs gets the basketball ahead to Pruitt. He'll lay it in with a left hand. (42-28), 14-point lead for Brockton. Here's Clement. Gets the basketball to Tavares, but a foul is called on Brockton. And it's against number 45, Tyrone Pruitt. Baseline pass to Silva. Gets it back up top to Mello. Nearly traveled, but held that pivot foot. Brockton's Bernard covering Silva aggressively. Spin move from Ian. Gets it outside to Balistracci. He takes it to the glass with a right hand and connects.
Tom's got the height and the skill to handle that driving into the trees. I like to see him do that a little bit more often.
Strong with the right hand that time for Tom Balistracci. New Bedford back to within 12. Here's Beck right into the paint. Kicks it outside to Pruitt. Now back to Dominique Beck. Now Pruitt right side of the arc. Unattended. Three-point attempt no good. Rebound to Gibbs. Takes it to the glass and lays it in.
That's just too easy.
Well, you saw right there, Gibbs just pulling the rebound away from a smaller New Bedford player.
That's just frustrating how easy they're rebounding.
Brockton has probably 4 players on the floor right now that could play center for New Bedford. You saw Tyrese Gibbs playing the 2 guard, the off guard. If he was on the Whalers, I bet he'd be playing inside. He'd be playing center probably. So what a size advantage here tonight for Brockton. We've been talking about it all night long. Here's Silva's jumper, it's good. Coach Ed Roderick's employing his Whalers, saying, let's get going, come on. Here's a shot from P.J. Bernard from three-point land. He connects, steal by Pruitt, gets it to Rashawn Jones with a fine save, and a foul is called against New Bedford.
Man, that's frustrating. You get a big basket down one end, and they answer right back.
And when P.J. Bernard connects from three-point land, it doesn't touch anything but net. He's hit three-pointers tonight. Not one has even glanced off the rim.
This Brockton team does a lot of things well, rebounding, shooting. They obviously have the size, and we talked about the size differential between the gods, but Brockton has that probably against every team they play, and that's why they're 9-1.
Absolutely, Adam. Good observation. Balistracci takes it to the glass, laid it up around and out. Coach Ed Roderick is calling for the goaltending because one of the Brockton players hit the glass while Balistracci's shot was up, but no call. New Bedford gets the ball back on the Brockton miss. Silva with it, way up top to Clement. Calling for motion offense again is Coach Roderick. Baseline pass, Mello's three-point attempt just barely touches the back iron. Brockton again with the basketball. Here's Beck. Bernard's wide open inside, lays it up with the reverse and in. Well, I know one thing. P.J. Bernard's going to play basketball at some Division I school. Shot by Ponce is good.
Give these Whalers credit, though. They're battling against some difficult odds.
50-35, New Bedford down by 15. Pass inside to Beck. Back up top to Pruitt. Had a wide open three, said no, I want a better shot than that. Gets it up top to Jones. Rashawn Jones, back to Pruitt. Has another wide open three, but instead kicks it inside to Beck. Little post-up move around and out. And New Bedford's Clement with a rebound. JoJo tries to take it right to the glass. Banks it home. He's good at that runner. It looks as if he's a little bit out of control and might be shooting the ball a little bit too hard, but is able to find a way to bank it in. Did so there, and New Bedford is within 13 at 50-37.
These kids are fighting, aren't they? I mean, these are some difficult odds when their entire team is twice your size, but they are battling, you know, considering how badly they're being rebounded. They are giving it everything, and they're still in this game.
Yeah, well, you know what? I don't think Coach Roderick is going to have anyone in there who's not going to fight and battle this, you know, with everything they've got, because there's just, you know, too much pride in this program, especially here on their own court. But, you know, like I said, they have to work hard against this team because they're bigger, they're more physical, and they're talented.
Now we're going to see how much gas New Bedford has. They've been pounding for quite a while. They have not gone as deep as Brockton has. Now we're going to see how much wind they have left, because eventually they're going to have to turn up the pressure on defense.
9:27 left in the contest, 50-37, Brockton. When New Bedford scores, guys, they have to work so hard to do so. For Brockton, it looks so easy.
Yeah, it looks like Brockton just has a ton of confidence. You can see it in their face when they're bringing the ball up, when they're setting up their offense. They play with a lot of confidence.
Here's Pino with a determined look on his face, guarding Jones. With the pass goes inside to Abelard, but he's called for steps.
Good call, referee right there.
Yep.
New Bedford's mellow to inbound. Now Ian with the basketball back, being guarded by Bernard, gets it to Silva. Nick swings it up top to Pina. Brandon Pina to Balistracci. Now swing the basketball outside the arc to Ponce. It's stolen by Jones. He'll take it right to the glass, lay it up, around, no good, but tipped up and in by Abelard. Again, Balistracci challenging the seemingly uncontested layup, but Abelard was there to clean up the miss by Jones. So Brockton back up by 15. Silva wide open from three-point land. No good. Rebound to Brockton. Now Jones gets it ahead to Bernard. He'll take it right to the glass, lay it up and in. Count the basket, and he was fouled.
Well, we can see the frustration now beginning to show for New Bedford.
Right now, it's just a matter of power and size. As Brockton starting to pull away, up by 18 now after the free throw by P.J. Bernard. And Bernard doesn't care who's underneath, John. He just takes it to the glass and says, you can't stop me.
Right. And that's the attitude you got to have.
Ball is deflected out of bounds off of Brockton, it seemed, but Nick Silva stepped on the end line before the ball was deflected by the Boxers, so it's Brockton basketball. The Boxers easily beating New Bedford's press. Three-point attempt from the left baseline by Bernard is no good, but the opportunity on the offensive rebound by Stefan Abelard is good. Brockton takes a 57-37 lead with Abelard at the line to try to complete the old-fashioned three-point play.
I got 31-6 rebounding advantage for Brockton. That's tough.
At that time, Abelard pulled it away from, looked like two New Bedford defenders there.
Just looking at this Brockton squad, you can understand why their football team is so good.
Yeah.
Because you see the size on some of these Brockton Boxers, and a lot of them played football. Rezendi Gomes, Dominique Beck, Rashawn Jones, of course Tyrone Pruitt, Stefan Abelard.
And these are the skilled guys who usually aren't as big or as strong as the linemen, and I can tell you that the Brockton linemen are always big and strong.
Yeah.
And Brockton High School has a great program up there, and they're New Bedford's evil empire.
That's right.
And it's tough, boy.
It used to be Durfee for many years, but it seems as now the rivalry changing a bit as far as the dominant team in the Big Three. Brockton with the 21-point lead, 58-37, 8:02 left in the game. New Bedford making some changes here. Into the lineup for the Whalers for the first time is Chris Andrade, wearing number 24. Brandon Pina now with the basketball. To Balistracci, to Andrade. Baseline pass, Ponce, his shot no good. Rebound inside. It seemed to Andrade, but it's taken away by Gibbs. Brockton running the floor, pass ahead to Mendes. He's stripped by Nick Silva. Silva across the timeline with the left hand, takes it to the glass, lays it up and in. Coach Ed Rodricks said something to one of the officials, it seems. The official was waving someone back. Brian Barber into the lineup for New Bedford, wearing number 15, long pass. Intended for Resendiz Gomes. The ball goes over Gomes' head, but he's called for a foul as he pushed off on Brandon Pina.
Offensive pass interference.
That's what I was thinking.
Good observation, John. And Adam. New Bedford with the basketball, down by 19. Here's Pina, swings it to Silva. Into the paint goes Nick, he's rejected by Mendes. Now Balistracci up top to Andrade. Andrade with the basketball, gets it to Balistracci. He tries to wheel away from number 25, Resendi Gomes. And a foul is called against Andrew Resendi Gomes. As the Boxers call for a timeout, 7:13 left in the game, 58-39 in favor of Brockton.
When is our next telecast, Adam Pimentel?
Our next telecast will be on Tuesday.
We'll be at the Bears Den.
I believe we'll be at Vogue. I'm not positive on who
there
they
it is.
We'll be at Vogue, and they'll be playing Bourne. The Canalmen, the most fearsome name.
Yeah.
In all
high
of
school
sports, the Canalmen.
Look out.
So I was looking through my dictionary trying to find a crop.
A cropper.
A cropper, which Joe mentioned. Well, maybe that's why I didn't find it, because I didn't look for a cropper.
Hey, wait a minute.
But I
forgot.
didn't even find a crop.
I forgot, guys. Did an internet search for the saying, come a cropper. And I have it at home. I was supposed to bring it tonight. I forgot. I cannot believe I forgot. You had to remind me, Adam. You wait and you'll see next go round. Do an internet search. And it comes up instantaneously. Come a cropper, and it explains, and it said exactly what I said. So
sure, Joe,
I'm gonna show you guys. I'm gonna show you. My wife did it for me because she laughed at me just as you did. Here's a steal for Brockton, and Resendi Gomes' attempt is rejected by Balistracci, but it will be Brockton basketball. And the saying "come a cropper" is extremely legitimate, and I'm surprised you doubted me.
It must be an old English saying. Something.
No matter how old it is valid. Here's a steal by Andrade for New Bedford. Pass ahead to Pina. I can see it was troubling you, though, Adam. You failed to forget the saying. All week long, you were thinking about it. Come a cropper, come a cropper. Here's a steal by Mendes, takes it to the hole against Bryant Barber, and a foul will be called against Barber. So Mendes will go to the free throw line. I can't believe I forgot that. Now I'm really upset.
Well, Joe, I brought a little electronic dictionary thing here. And
you can't look up a phrase, come a cropper, in an electronic dictionary.
Well,
it's a phrase.
I didn't even find a crop or a cropper.
Where's my phone? I'm going to call my wife, see if I can get her down here. We got 6 minutes and 25 seconds left. Do you think she can fly down here at 6:25?
Yeah, I've seen your wife.
You drive. If you've seen her drive, you're absolutely right.
Just kidding.
I'm not. Mendes from the line. Shot is no good. Rebound to Barber. Next week, tune in, viewers. We will prove that the phrase, the saying, come a cropper, is legitimate and means exactly what I said it meant. So,
well, I know
that's what they call a tease in the business, John. Shot by Andrade is deflected. The ball goes out of bounds off of Brockton, it looks like. 59-39.
Only 5 seconds on the shot clock here, so New Bedford has to be quick.
This one came a cropper for the Whalers about halfway through the first half. Pass inside to Bryant Barber. Little jump hook is good.
Nice job by Brian that time getting open.
P.J. Bernard from three-point land. You can't leave him open.
He's just been deadly from there.
The Whalers have emptied their bench. Coach Roderick's giving some players who don't see a lot of time an opportunity to develop their skills. Here's Christian, baseline now Smith. Now back up top to Aaron Christian. Brockton still with most of its starting lineup. Aaron with the basketball way up top with the left hand. 10 seconds left on the shot clock. Gets it to Zach Smith. Smith to Barber. 4 seconds on the shot clock. 3. Christian from long range, no good. The rebound to New Bedford's Bryant Barber. Baseline jumper by Bryant, no good. An air ball, and Brockton with the rebound. Pass ahead to Pruitt, lays it up with the right left hand, no good. And a foul will be called on number 32, P.J. Bernard. So New Bedford to inbound. But it was funny, because when I told my wife what I said, she gave me the exact facial expression that you did, John, and Adam.
Oh?
The exact. She looked like, what? And I said, come on. And she looked at me just like that.
Yeah.
But being the faithful and loving wife that she is, she went on the internet to prove me wrong, and instead ended up supporting me once again.
You're trying to kiss up because you made fun of her driving.
It's a great love story.
It really is. It really is.
But she printed it up for me, so she had it put probably right next to the door, and somehow I picked up my keys without picking up.
Well, I'm going to want the website.
It's www.comacropper.com.
It has the whole.
Yeah, you are really a doubting Thomas. So we're going to have to, now we even have to bring biblical phrases into this discussion, because you guys are starting to tick me off now. Now I'm going to bring the note in. It's going to have the exact address on there. You're going to go to the website. It's going to have pictures, descriptions, the amount of times it's been used in the history of mankind. The pass intended for Andrade is deflected out of bounds by Brockton.
As far as we know, it's only been used once.
Right.
It's been used many, many times.
www.madeupwords.com.
No, I mean, it's such a saying. It's so profound. It's, you know, it's reserved for just special individuals. Here's Ely with the basketball up top to Andre. Now right side of the arc, Aaron Christian for 3. His shot is short. Rebound to Bernard. Brockton still with most of its starters out there, though New Bedford has emptied the bench. Down by 21. Bernard takes it to the hole.
That surprised me a bit. The only thing I think of is that, you know, Brockton's turned the ball over a lot. I've had just under 20 rebounds, looks like about 18. Check that, 16 turnovers for the Boxers tonight, and they've had a lot of sloppy play. So the only thing I can think of is that they want to work on some things with the starters. But then again, their bench goes so deep. A lot of their bench has seen significant minutes this evening.
Yeah, if we look at their roster, I think, let's see, 1, 2, 3. Only 3 players have not been in the lineup tonight for Brockton.
Yeah,
63-41, the Boxers up by 22.
The drop in the level of play between the starters and the bench players isn't that great anyway.
Ely's jumper is no good. Rebound to Gibbs. Gets it ahead to Bernard. He'll shoot the 3. We know how he ends up with an average of 23 a game, most of them coming from long range.
Yeah, that's his 5th 3 of the night.
Here's Andrade with the basketball. Right side of the arc. He's stripped. Ball goes to the floor. Mendes and Andrade scramble for it. Jump ball is called. Now Brockton clearing its bench somewhat.
Yeah. Well, PJ right on the 23 points per game average. He's got 23, 16 of which have come here in the second half.
Here's Christian with the basketball to Andrade, right side of the arc. Now up top to Aaron. Back to Andrade, goes to the baseline. Now he's cut off, gives it back up top to Aaron Christian. Now again, Andrade shoots a long three, shot air ball, so it will be Brockton basketball as the shot clock expired. Near steal by Christian on the inbound pass by Brockton's number 33, Brett Bolger. No relation to Ray. Long pass. Ahead to Bernard. Now Rashawn Jones with the basketball. Baseline attempt by Jamal Woodbury is no good, and New Bedford with the rebound. Foul is called. 3:19 left in this one, and basically all over as the Whalers down by 25 have emptied their bench, and now Brockton has gone to their bench feeling secure with the 25-point lead. How's Grandma Carchidi been, John?
Before we get to that, who's Ray Bolger?
I believe that's the UMass president?
No.
Oh, that's Bulgar.
No.
That's
Again,
Billy.
how about on the Wizard of Oz?
The Scarecrow?
Yes.
Man, your references go way back. You know that?
I'm a student of many things. History.
That's right.
Do you know what type? I'm going to ask you a trivia question. Do you know what type of shoes Shoeless Joe Jackson wore? Who's buried at Lincoln's Memorial?
No one's buried in Lincoln's Memorial.
Well, you finally got one right. It's about time. Long-range jumper by Aaron is no good. I was going to use the old Grant's tomb on you, but I thought it'd be too obvious, so.
Grant and Mrs. Grant.
Here's Jones. Pass ahead to Woodbury. His baseline jumper is no good. Ball is deflected out of bounds off of Brockton's Mendes. Yeah, see, Adam knew that, and he's younger than you. He knew that Ray Bolger was the Scarecrow.
I think we need a Cliff's Notes version
for next
with
week's
Joe's
game.
comments. We need the
Guys are
annotated
really trying to hurt my
Joe
feelings now. Someone told me I looked young the other day. Now you guys are trying to make me feel old. Here's Ely with the basketball, looking to Barber down low. Finds Smith. His shot is no good, but Zach will go to the free throw line.
Not old, Joe, just more experience.
More experience. You've done a good job absorbing knowledge over your years.
One of the things I can say, I absorb an awful lot. Punishment, guilt, and some knowledge. I grew up with my grandparents a lot. I was around my grandparents a lot. So, I mean, remember, my grandfather was born in 1902, so stuff was coming to Cropper a long time ago, and he was teaching me all of these things. Layup is good by Maradona Montrand.
There you go.
Now let's see what the PA announcer, Bob Huckabee, says about Montrand. He said it the way I did, Montrand. Very French-sounding name, because I'm sure it is. Here's Zach Smith with the rebound on the missed free throw. Now Aaron Christian with the basketball.
I wonder if his friends call him Maradona.
I don't know.
They call him Eminem.
Eminem?
Here's a pass to Barber. From the right block, shot no good. Rebound to Woodbury. Gets it to Montrand. Now Mendes for three. His shot is well off the mark, and the rebound to Brett Barber. Pass from Christian is stolen by Montrand as play is getting real sloppy now. Mendes, he'll shoot another three, not shy. Same exact results as the last one. Now Christian with the rebound. Get it ahead to Smith, lay it up and in with the right hand.
Well, you'd like to see some of these younger kids, the juniors and the sophomores, performing well under these adverse conditions, because it's going to be their job to do it full time next year.
Here's Bernard. rocks one off the left side of the rim, and Barber with another rebound. One of the good things we've seen tonight from Bryant Barber is he has some ability to rebound. Here's Chris Andrade with the basketball. 48 seconds left. 68-43. Brockton up by 25. Baseline 10-footer by Zach Smith is good. 68-45. New Bedford with a steal. Christian with the basketball. Gets right to the arc. Sends it ahead to Ely, but he's called for the travel.
New Bedford does have some height in the junior class. It'd be great to see guys like Ely and Zach Smith put on a little bit of bulk in the offseason.
Smith draws the offensive foul from John Mendes. So New Bedford will have the ball with 25.1 seconds. And Adam mentioned that the weight training at New Bedford High is not quite up to the standards maybe found at Brockton. And New Bedford's basketball team tonight was not only overmatched by height, but also by physical strength and power. The boxes were just too much here tonight for the Whalers. This one has come to a close with the final score. Brockton 68, New Bedford 45. From start to finish, it was Brockton slowly opening up a lead in the first half, but then about midway through that first half, they were able to expand their lead into double digits, led by 10 at the half, and then in the second half just broke it wide open with some outstanding play from number 32, P.J. Bernard, and also from number 44, Tyrese Gibbs.
I think New Bedford's defense was able to keep them in the game for quite a while. And Brockton turned the ball over quite a bit, particularly in the first half. And you know, that was going to be the way New Bedford was going to stay in this game. That and the three-point shot. They got some decent three-point shooting from guys like Nick Silva. But unfortunately, with so many second and third opportunities for the Boxers, it was just going to be tough to hang on for an entire two-half game.
Adam, we talked about Brockton trying to wear down New Bedford, and that appeared to be the case here tonight.
Yeah, the difference was 10 points at halftime, and it only grew after that as you said, these New Bedford players wore it down. You see the scoring leads. P.J. Bernard led everyone. He scored his 23 points a game. Gibbs finished with 12, and Silva led New Bedford scores with 11. Balistracci only had 2 points in the second half. He led the way with 7 after the first half.
Yeah.
But I think New Bedford just overmatched by Brockton. This is a good team. They have 10 wins now, so they'll be on their way to the tournament. And New Bedford 3-7 now and 0-2 in the conference.
Tough task ahead to qualify for the tournament this year. New Bedford has to really turn it on. Only 3 wins so far, 7 losses. Brockton's already made it at 10-1.
That's right. Yeah, New Bedford with 10 games remaining would have to win 7 of their next 10. They have some, a brutal schedule as they are prone to do and as they like having, including another game against this Brockton team, another game against a Durfee team that beat them. So it's going to be difficult. Never count out an Ed Roderick's team, but we knew that this was going to be a difficult year. We knew that this was going to be a rebuilding year because of their lack of height, because of their lack of size, and because of their lack of returners. But I think you got to give the kids a lot of credit. They showed a lot of heart under some adverse conditions here tonight.
They certainly played hard, but they were outmatched size-wise by the Brockton Boxers tonight. And as a result, the Whalers go down to Brockton by a 68-45 count. For all of us here at New Bedford Cable Access Sports, I'd like to say goodnight, everyone.
And you are allowed to say goodnight, sir.
Good night. Looked like Brockton was a little bit merciful.
I thought you put it well when you said.
turned my child's public school into a whole new kind of school. One with a curriculum that really motivates kids. One that has extended hours, 6 days a week, year-round. With loads of academic, cultural, and recreational activities. One that has support services like medical and dental right there. A school where parents' involvement is encouraged. Where teachers have more time to teach. And students are excited about learning. There's just one problem. My child doesn't ever want to come home. You can help turn your school into a community school for excellence. Find out how. Call 1-877-LOVE-TO-LEARN.
Mrs. Abruzzo, I'm Ed McMahon, and we're signing up people for... Yes, I am. Yeah. Mr. Murphy, Ed McMahon. We're starting up... No.
Dreams really do come true.
Hombre, dinero!
No.
Cámaras. Yes,
Ed
con
McMahon,
cameras.
see.
Ed McMahon.
Yes, Ed McMahon. We're having our first
Ed
ever...
McMahon.
Yes. Tuesday night at the high school. We're starting up the neighborhood watch in this area, and here's all the information.
Stevie, get down here, please.
No, it's just...
5, 6, 7, 8.
No tango dinero. Neighborhood watch. We're having this neighborhood watch, the first one. Right. I'll come back.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Start a neighborhood watch. It's just one of the many ways you can help make America stronger. To find out how, call or log on for this free guide.
Good job.
Look, it's a giraffe.
I don't see it.
The less art kids get, the more it shows. Are yours getting enough? Art. Ask for more. AmericansForTheArts.org.
I was jogging.
Jogging.
I was jogging.
Jogging to a colon.
I was jogging.
Were you looking for a colon?
Who isn't?
Is this your neighborhood?
I was jogging.